Rain fell softly against the glass walls of the cafe, tracing silver veins down the windows as the city outside blurred into a watercolor of lights. Amelia sat by the corner table, her hands cupped around a paper cup that had long gone cold. The hum of conversations faded behind her. She stared at her reflection, tired eyes, a faint scar along her jawline, and the quiet ache of someone who'd seen too much and said too little. Life hadn't been gentle lately. She'd lost her job, her apartment lease was ending, and yet she still forced a smile every morning, because that's what kind people did. They smiled, even when they were breaking inside. The door swung open, letting in a rush of cold air and the scent of rain. A man stepped in, tall, broad-shouldered, in a tailored suit that probably cost more than her rent. He looked like he didn't belong in a place this small. His presence drew eyes, not because of his wealth or looks, but because there was something solemn in the way he carried himself. His gaze swept the cafe before landing on her. And for a moment the noise, the rain, the exhaustion, it all disappeared. He walked toward her slowly, like someone trying to remember a dream. "Amelia Hart?" he asked, his voice low but warm. She blinked, startled. "Yes, do I know you?" The man exhaled softly, the hint of a smile touching his lips. "I've been looking for you. For 3 years." She frowned, confused. "I think you have the wrong person." But he shook his head. "No, you're the woman who pulled my daughter out of that car." And suddenly the world tilted. It had been a rainy night 3 years ago. She'd been driving home from a double shift when she saw it. A car flipped by the roadside, smoke curling into the sky. She hadn't thought twice. She'd crawled through shattered glass and twisted metal, pulling out a crying little girl before the vehicle caught fire. She'd stayed until the ambulance came, her arms wrapped around the terrified child, whispering that everything would be okay. Then she'd slipped away before anyone could ask her name. Amelia's lips parted. You were there?" He nodded. "Yes, my daughter Lily. She still remembers you. She called you her angel." Her throat tightened. She remembered the girl's tiny hands clutching her jacket, the way she'd sobbed into her shoulder, but she never expected to see them again. "I'm Ethan Cross," he continued quietly. "CEO of Cross Dynamics." The name hit her like a wave. The Ethan Cross, billionaire entrepreneur, widowed single father, the man whose life was splashed across financial magazines and gossip headlines. She stared, unsure what to say. "I've spent years trying to find you," he said. "I wanted to thank you properly. You didn't just save Lily. You saved me too." Amelia shook her head, embarrassed. "You don't need to thank me. Anyone would have done the same." "No," he said, his tone gentle but firm. "Not everyone would have run toward the flames." There was something in his eyes. Gratitude. Yes, but also something deeper, something unspoken. He slid a business card across the table. "I know this is sudden, but I'd like to repay you. Whatever you need, a job, a home, anything." She pushed the card back. "You don't owe me anything, Mr. Cross." He smiled faintly. "Then consider it me offering friendship." 2 weeks later, Amelia found herself standing in the lobby of Cross Dynamics, still not sure how she'd let him talk her into this. She'd lost her job at the clinic recently. Budget cuts, they said. And Ethan had offered her a temporary position as his executive assistant. It felt strange stepping into his sleek corporate world, surrounded by glass, marble, and people who spoke in spreadsheets and deadlines. But when she met Lily again, bright eyes, missing front tooth, messy curls, it all felt right somehow. The little girl threw her arms around Amelia as if no time had passed at all. "Daddy says you're going to work with him," Lily squealed. "Can you come to my school play too?" Amelia laughed softly. "We'll see, sweetheart." As days turned into weeks, something unexpected happened. The walls Ethan had built around himself began to crack. Beneath the calm, commanding CEO was a man who still carried guilt. Guilt for the accident that took his wife, for the nights he couldn't sleep, for being a father who sometimes didn't know how to heal his daughter's fears. And Amelia, with her quiet kindness and gentle strength, became the light in their home. She reminded him what warmth felt like. She helped Lily laugh again. She reminded him how to breathe. Sometimes he'd catch her standing by the office window, hair caught in the sunlight, And he'd feel that same pull he felt the day he first saw her in that cafe. The pull of something real. Something he'd thought he'd lost forever. Then came the night that changed everything. It was late, the city lights glowing like fallen stars. Amelia stayed behind at the office, finishing reports when she noticed something strange. A series of emails flagged as urgent, marked from a competitor's account. She opened one and froze. It contained confidential data, leaked from within. Someone was betraying Ethan's company from the inside. Before she could process it, the elevator dinged. Heavy footsteps echoed behind her. She turned and saw one of the senior executives, a man who'd always resented her sudden arrival. His face was pale, eyes sharp. "You shouldn't have seen that," he muttered. Amelia's heart pounded. "You're the one leaking data?" He stepped closer. "Walk away, Amelia. You have no idea what's at stake." But she didn't move. "You're going to destroy everything Ethan built." "Ethan will survive," he sneered. "People like us always do." The threat in his tone made her pulse quicken. She backed toward the desk, fumbling for her phone, but before she could call, he lunged. The struggle was fierce, papers flew, glass shattered, and just when she thought he'd overpower her, the office door burst open. Ethan was there, eyes blazing. "Get your hands off her!" Security rushed in. Within minutes, the traitor was gone. Ethan turned to her, eyes full of fear and relief. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head, tears welling. "I found the emails." He stepped forward and pulled her into his arms. "You saved me once," he murmured, voice trembling. "Now it's my turn to protect you." Days later, as the sun set behind the Cross estate, Ethan found her in the garden, Lily laughing nearby. He took her hand gently. "I spent so long trying to thank you for saving Lily. But you saved me too, Amelia, from a life without love." Her eyes shimmered. "Ethan," he smiled softly, "if you'll let me, I'll spend the rest of my life protecting you." She whispered, "You already have." And for the first time in years, they both felt peace, the kind that comes not from wealth or power, but from love that saves again and again, in silence and in storms.